Hey everybody, Jatin this side, Devrel Manager at Canton Foundation, and in this particular demo, we will be talking and seeing how to implement dApp SDK in a sample Canton wallet and run a local Canton node and then use the wallet gateway to connect through that node and sign and loop in a demo of the whole thing. And in this particular demo, I'll be walking through a code that already shows the integration of dApp SDK, and then we will see a live version of it where it opens wallet gateway, signs using a local node network, and then shows you the party ID and whatnot. So you know what, let's get started. But before we go to the code or talk about the implementation, we have to talk about the general architecture after CIP-103, how it works on top of Canton. So as you would see in the architecture here, we generally have this new way of interacting with wallets or interacting with a Canton validator connecting to your dApp, and how would this work when you're working on a custody provider side or exchanges as well. So currently the architecture shows if you already have a dApp that implements dApp SDK, it directly works with wallet gateway, which you can directly interact with a Canton validator and start signing off transactions and manage much more activities via that. So as you would see here, when you integrate dApp SDK in your dApp, it uses the SDK to call the dApp API, and the users use the wallet gateway to manage the wallets or approve and sign transaction using the user UI that is being shown on the wallet gateway, which we will see in some time. And then the wallet gateway is basically a signing and managing mechanism, as you would see here, that authenticates to the validator ledger APIs and forwards signing request and configured signing provider like Fireblocks or Blockdaemon and whatnot. So this architecture is here that explains the chemistry between these multiple components. We have more components in the future that we'll be talking about, including our own version of Rainbow Kit, which is responsible for giving you one connection all to all the wallets which are CIP-103 compliant. But let's only talk about dApp SDK in this particular demo. So dApp SDK, as simple as it is, at Canton network /dApp SDK to install it. It's basically one SDK which allows you to not easily build a wallet integration in your existing Canton app, but at the same time provides you much more easier access of all the applications that required you to do the heavy lifting. Instead, the dApp SDK does the heavy lifting, including the discovery of all the available wallets, wallet picker UI that we talked about just now in the architecture, connecting, disconnecting, signing the transaction, account management using the list accounts function that it has. We'll talk about it in the next, transaction execution, real-time events and whatnot. So the installation is as easy as npm install at Canton network /dApp SDK. We have yarn and pnpm available, but I'm gonna give you a quick snippet of how it looks like. So we have multiple snippets here, but let's talk about one by one. So first we have sdk.connect, which is responsible for connecting to your application to the connection function of a wallet, and that pops out the wallet gateway integration window in the first place, right? Then you fetch the party IDs and whatnot from the selected validator or selected connection in a wallet gateway using the sdk.list functions. Then finally, the man of the hour, you have sdk.prepare and execute, or prepare, execute and wait. That is a second term, which basically executes a transaction on your behalf via the wallet gateway connected to a validator. All that just by integrating dApp SDK into your dApp. So it does almost every single heavy lifting for you. So the dApp connectivity with a wallet infrastructure on Canton cannot be more easier than this. So then you can use the query function here of SDK. Then there is a disconnect function here. There are more nuances to understand when it comes to the architecture of dApp SDK. But instead of doing too much into this, we will directly jump to the code and talk more about. So now we are back at the VS Code, where we will be seeing how exactly to use the dApp SDK in a React dApp that you're working on top of Canton, and how it will make your life more easier by doing most of the work for you. So as expected, we are importing the dApp SDK here, and then we are importing the remote adapter, which basically is responsible for connecting your dApp using the dApp SDK to a wallet gateway that exposes a dApp API endpoint. And here we are doing the same. We are just using the dApp API endpoint, which is being currently hosted by the local node on the local spin-off of the wallet gateway in one of the terminals, which I'll show you in some time. And I'm just giving it away like this, but coming all the way down to show you the main thing. So currently we are connecting to the Canton local, which is the local image of Canton, or a local net version of Canton that we are running in our server or in our system right now, as you would see in the terminal right below. And we have the gateway URL, the dApp endpoint, which the gateway is currently broadcasting. So we are just keeping it all connected. Then, as we have seen, we have SDK.list accounts available here, which is basically once you sign off on the Canton local on the wallet gateway UI that pops up, you get connected, you transfer and confirm. It basically fetches the party API and everything back. But if it's not, I have added a fallback here to do the same. And then you can also get disconnected from it. Then you also have the submit transaction that we have seen using the SDK dot prepare transaction, or prepare transaction dot wait if you want to add a wait time here, or a count, which is submitting a sample daml transaction from your dApp using the dApp SDK's submit or execute transaction endpoint, prepare execute endpoint. And then you are basically just taking the result, and you are using here SDK.ledger API to query the final state of the contract. Once everything falls apart or falls back, you are just querying the whole thing up to show to the people on how it all just stays together in the end after the whole thing went down. So this is a very small and yet nothing complex execution of adding dApp SDK in a sample use Canton wallet.ts TypeScript application that we have. This whole thing that you would see in a sample wallet, I will upload it all on GitHub so you can fork and play around with it. I already have forked wallet gateway inside of it, and we have a Canton image for local net here that we are running currently in our browser. And but yeah, more on that later on. So now let's talk about what I'm running right now in terms of execution. So as you would see, I have this first terminal open here, which is running a Canton local image or Canton local net version, right? Then I am running a mock authentication to provide like a auth token. Then I have the main wallet gateway UI, which is exposing a dApp API as we have expected in the doc as well here, which we are currently redirecting our implementation to. And then finally our main React front end on this one. So what I'm gonna do is just show you currently how this all works. So we are currently in the React UI element. It is nothing fancy, the simple plain UI that you will find on the internet, or you can just wipe code if you want to using Claude. I prefer it to just do like a simple React component and then polish it with the wipe coding, so it does not like look too good. But yeah, nothing fancy here. Once you click on connect wallet, it pops open the wallet gateway, a local wallet gateway. As you would see, you click on the login here of Canton local, which is the local version, and then it opens you to the wallet gateway where you already have selected the local net. You can add your validator if you're in a production environment. Use your validator, get connected to the validator, use one of the available wallets, and then execute the whole thing in your dApp using dApp SDK. But on this one, we'll say connect, we are logged in, we come back here, and we will wait for some time, and it should show how it gets connected. So let's wait a little. And awesome, so now we can see this, and if we go back to the wallet gateway, we can also see that now we can see the whole green dot saying that the wallet gateway is connected to your Canton local net, and you can see the parties here. You can add parties if you want to, as the signing provider wallet kernel here right now. So this is the wallet gateway UI. On the other hand, we have the Canton local connected, your party ID, Canton local allocated, signing using the wallet kernel. As we have seen, we have used wallet kernel's wallet gateway UI in the local environment to sign it, send transaction, query contracts, or disconnect in a simple day. So again, that was the demo, and I would say this is the best way to use the dApp SDK and make sure that you make your life easier by building on top of Canton and just make it do the heavy lifting for your wallet infrastructure. And yeah, so thank you for seeing the demo, and I'll be publishing the whole thing on GitHub. And if you have any doubt, you can just feel free to come to forum.canton.network and post your queries. I'll be there to help you out. So thank you so much for seeing the demo, and catch you later.